Am I the jerk for refusing to let my pregnant sister sleep in my bed after I offered her a perfectly good guest bed? Posted by you/silence fiction. I, 26M, rent a small 2-bedroom apartment. I live alone, but I use the second bedroom as my office because I work from home full-time. My older sister, Lily, 31F, is 6 months pregnant and soon to be a single mother. She has some issues with her apartment, she's in a disagreement with her landlord and in the process of moving out, so she asked if she could stay with me for a few weeks. Of course, I said yes and told her I'd be happy to accommodate her for as long as she needed. She moved in last weekend, and the first thing she did when settling in was point toward my bed and say, "I'll take this one." I laughed, thinking she was joking. Only later in the evening, when I asked if she needed anything else before bed, did she mention that she wasn't joking about wanting to sleep in my bed. Now, I'm a bit of a germaphobe, and I'm quite uncomfortable with the idea of other people sleeping in my bed. I told her that I wasn't comfortable letting anyone else sleep in my bed, but I'd gladly set her up with my guest bed, which I used to sleep on before buying my current bed and know for a fact is very comfortable and spacious. Then she started guilt-tripping me, saying that since she got pregnant, she's had trouble falling asleep and needs the bigger, more comfortable bed. I stood my ground and told her I was happy to accommodate her, but I wasn't giving up my bedroom. She sulked but took the guest bed. That lasted exactly 2 nights before she started complaining that the bed was too stiff and that she couldn't sleep. I offered to buy a new mattress topper, but she refused. Instead, she tried the "you're my brother, you should want to make me comfortable" guilt trip again. I told her she was lucky I could even take her in since I work 10 hours a day from home and value having a private, calm, and quiet work environment. She called me selfish and accused me of not caring about her or her baby. I told her she could take the couch if the guest bed was that unbearable. Well, she did, but only for one night before turning into an absolute menace. On the second night on the couch, she made sure to sigh loudly all night, accidentally bump into things, and complain the next morning about how horrible I was making her feel. The following day, she kept making calls and talking loudly on the phone while I was working. I didn't pay attention to the actual calls, but later it became very clear what they were about. That evening, I started getting phone calls from most, if not all, of my family members. Apparently, she had been ranting all day on the phone to my family about how rude and horrible I was making her feel, trying to get them to pressure me into letting her sleep in my bed, like she was on a mission or something. My mom took her side and tore me a new one over the phone, saying that Lily is carrying a child and I'm being inconsiderate. She also said, "I thought I taught you better hospitality than this." I am very disappointed. My aunt called to tell me that my uncle, her husband, used to sleep on the couch and sometimes even on the floor next to her when she was pregnant. Even my cousin, who I haven't spoken to in like 2 years, called to tell me I'm being selfish. My father is taking my side, telling me to ignore them and that my sister is a screw-up who got herself into this situation in the first place, but I feel like my mom is giving him a super hard time in the background because he sounded hesitant when I asked him to have my back. Honestly, I just feel like I'm in the middle of a soap opera drama. My mom is threatening to come take Lily home, yeah, like that's much of a threat, lol, but she's giving me such a hard time, telling me I disappointed her and that she raised me better. I don't know how to feel about this anymore. Am I the jerk for not letting my pregnant sister sleep in my bed? Relevant comments. Commenter. Op, you opened your door to your sister, and with her acting like this, I seriously doubt she will ever leave. What has she done to solve her living situation? How much time has she invested in finding a new place to live? All that time she spent complaining to the relatives, she could have spent finding a long-term solution. But she didn't, because she planned to take over your bed and bedroom. She'll say, "This is the only room big enough for a crib too." She planned to banish you to the smaller second bedroom in your own place. And she plans to stay forever. Tell your mom to come get her. Tell your sister to pack her bags because mom is coming to get her since she is disrupting your ability to work from home and preventing you from getting sleep at night. Get her out now, or she will never leave. Update 1 day later. First of all, I want to thank you guys for the overwhelming support. This blew up way beyond anything I expected. I really appreciate all of you for taking the time to chime in and share your opinions. You guys really helped reassure me and gave me confidence in my own feelings that my private space has been disrespected, and, quite frankly, violated. I would like to answer a few common questions I saw in the comments. The guest bed is in the living room. It's stored in the second bedroom, my office, but whenever I have a guest, I set it up in the living room. The living room space is quite big and can comfortably fit the guest bed, couch, and living room table as well. My parents live a 4.5 hours drive away, and they are the closest family members to my apartment. That's why I didn't initially think of suggesting that someone come and pick up Lily to take her to their place. I, in fact, did not get my sister pregnant, WTF, guys. Lily is moving out of her current apartment because it is being sold, and the new owners aren't sure if they want to keep renting it or what to charge exactly. So that's why she is moving out. Anyway, here's the update. My mother made the drive over yesterday. She came in quite furious, barely said a word to me, and just wanted to take Lily and leave ASAP. She had that cold, disappointed look on her face. It broke my heart, honestly. I told them, Lily and my mother, that I wanted to talk and explain my side of the story. I told them both that I didn't want them to leave on bad terms. I sat them down in the living room and explained my side of things. I also decided to show them the original post, and it did help calm them down and make them second-guess their opinions. I also believe they were quite embarrassed, judging by the looks on their faces when I showed them the post, to see everything written out like that, but they didn't dare say a word about it, lol. In the end, they both agreed that my apartment is my personal space, and also my workplace, and they understood why it was difficult for me to give up my bed. It wasn't totally smooth, though. They still gave me a bit of a hard time, saying that while they do understand my side now, I could have still been the bigger person and just let Lily sleep in my bed. At least they did drop the whole "you're selfish" act. As for the rest of the family, I demanded that my sister call each and every one of them to let them know my side and calm them down. Lily was reluctant at first, but my mother gave her the look, and eventually, she came around and told me she'd do it on the drive back to my parents. I was honestly surprised she agreed. My aunt even called me today to apologize. That was definitely unexpected and very satisfying, lol. Lily is now staying with my parents. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I get a call in a few weeks with them ranting about her being entitled in their house. Can't wait to see how they'll handle that one. Hopefully, this is the last time I'll have to deal with this. Lily still needs to move her stuff from her old apartment, which is a 30-minute drive from me, so I know she's going to ask for my help. Not that I would mind, I'd be happy to help her, but I'm worried she might want to stay at my place again or use my place to store some of her stuff. Also, she might bring this whole thing up again, and I couldn't be asked to deal with it once more. But that's a problem for another day, though, hopefully not. So in the end, I believe it turned out the best way possible, and I have you guys to thank for that. Seriously, I appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to comment on my original post. Thank you. Relevant comments. Commenter. I'm so glad you spoke to them and got the story straight. They still sound like they think you're in the wrong. Honestly, I would take a big step back from Lily and anyone who was disrespectful to you. Don't help Lily move, she needs to figure it out on her own. You were kind enough to her, and she tried to take advantage of you. If you help her, you'll end up doing all the work. Let your parents and all your disrespectful relatives handle it. Let her hire movers. If she calls and asks, either ignore her calls or tell her you're busy. You don't need to explain further. Don't let her store any of her stuff at your place, either. She can rent a storage unit. And don't pay for anything. If she can't afford it, she can ask mommy or the other people she called. Let her know she burned that bridge. Take care of your own peace now. Commenter 2. While I agree that Lily burned the bridge, Op would 100% get framed for burning it. I don't think it would be bad if Op helps Lily move, as long as he stays firm on no moving into my house for you or your stuff. If she doesn't accept that boundary, then I would say, if you can't respect what I offer you, then I can't offer my help anymore.